Where is it? Yeah, this is some crazy garbage. Where is my? Here it is, right here. This is where just one. Hey there. This is Brene Frenoy, art teacher by day, portrait painter by night, paint party instructor, paint party hostess again this year. I'm hosting my own monthly paint party, sometimes twice a month. Locally, catch us at a location near you. Register on my website. Get on my email list. There's a contact us form that'll automatically put you on the email, or in the description here somewhere above below. Go to www.thepaintedpose.com. I'm holding this and you can't see it. Let me get closer out of the light. Thepaintedpose.com. This picture is so bad. I don't know why the data plan is making it so pixelated. I don't like what's going on our paint camera right now. Let me see if I thought it was bad if I had it on Wi-Fi. Let me see if I can fix that right fast. I don't like a bad pixelated image. Let's see if that registers and see if that makes it any better. So it's switching over now. Give it a moment. It's frozen. Well, anyway, I'm having a great day. It's been a busy week. Hoping you had a great week. There it is. It's popping in now. It looks better. Okay, that's not so bad. So I've got my computer image right here. I'm looking right at you here. And then this is my paint cam now, right here. So we're ready to go. Now, I don't know. All of a sudden, my computer engine is ramping up. Why? I don't know. Anyway, let me do the introduction again. Hello, this is Brene Frenoy, art teacher by day, portrait painter by night, paint party instructor / paint party host on the weekends and in the evenings. Let me know how I can serve you. We're painting this lovely image today. Now, this is not a free download. I've got lots of free downloads for you. And let me know what you're interested in. Go to www.thepaintedpose /download. That will get you on my email list, and I can let you know when we're doing events locally, when we are having a new offer on the website. We're doing some things this year. We're stepping out of our comfort zone and we're busy. My goal is to paint with the people. I probably need to put a number with that. I don't know, 1,000 people this year. Maybe I need to write that down. My goal is to paint with at least 1,000 people this year, either virtually or in person. I said it. I said it. We're going to try to meet that goal uh, sooner rather than later. Well, I'm not calling this art practice, but today, let's see, it will be a tool, a tip, or a technique. Today, we're just painting. I don't have a specialty technique to show you. I'm not using any fancy tools. These brushes would be in an art kit. The 6 colors in these little paint pots is what you will find in an art kit. These are my tools, and we're going to get down to some basic painting today. Good morning. Or I should say hello, because, replay viewers, let me greet them. Hello to my replay viewers. Thank you so much for joining, and you know how to fast forward through all of this, these shenanigans over here. Let me make sure I get to my comment page, and I'm ready for you if you have any questions or suggestions. All right, I'm going to wet my brushes, okay? That's what I suggest to my students this past week. That's what I was going to show you, because I wanted to really show you something really, really, really cool. Maybe I'll pop back on and show you the wet on wet technique that we were using. I kept running around here. It's like I want to show the people this technique. I couldn't remember what it was, but that's okay. It's never too late for that technique. It's great for Easter eggs. We kind of do it when we're dyeing things for Easter. It is 10 minutes into the broadcast, but we edit and we cut some of that out. Let's get on down to it. Now, I don't have my brown out, so let's make some. Let me see if I can. Let me remove myself. Let me add myself here, and let's go to the teaching one here. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay, so we are ready to get on down. Ready to get on down to it. Let me aim this down just a wee bit. Okay, so you could see a little bit that way. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's hit it. Make sure the lighting is decent. Okay. And I'm still deciding about Canvas of the month. I think that might be more my subscription. And of course, painting with beginners. Now my magenta is totally out over here, so I'm just refilling it. I may or may not use it, but I like to have these colors. Oh my goodness gracious. Yep, we did it live. So always making sure, oh my goodness, we're having some real technical difficulties over here, you guys. Why not? We're only live. Hey. But sometimes you got to stop what you're doing and fix it. That's what I've been in my home doing this morning. Like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and tell you a big L for this week. But for me, it's a big win because I'm stepping out. Whether or not anybody showed up at my event yesterday or not, I just didn't market it properly. Same with my membership. You know what? I'm trying to see if I want to do something a little bit different. Let's see. It's on here. Let's see what we got. Okay. And usually this first coat, as I've explained before, I just kind of massage the paint right on in here. Spread it out. Nothing cute right now. Let me go around these edges right here. I'm not sure which way I want to go with this. I'm just going to go ahead and get real close over here next to the ear for this first layer. And this is like a little dot. I don't know if you can see that. Tiny little magenta dot right there. It's almost like a little mole. I might leave it. So now once I kind of get that in there, I go back and I spread it in one direction just to smooth it out. Okay, so that will, let me get this light over here, guys. Oh boy, trying to be, technical without knocking things over. So hopefully that light is a little bit better to show you that it's a little smooth. I know I put it on raggedy because at first you don't really need to be cute. You just need to get that paint on there. So we dip a little bit, and what I probably need to do, go ahead and explain this technique. Try to get your paint on maybe one side of the bristles. Get the paint loaded up on one side of the hair. But it depends on what you're doing. Sometimes I'll go straight in because I want paint on both sides because I need to go ahead and paint a larger area. So I've got paint on both sides. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go right on over here. I swipe it off on one side and I come back over here, swipe it off in the other direction. Okay, I'm trying to learn how to be, more communicative with the techniques that I'm actually doing. Because, there's some people that just know what they're doing and they don't know how to explain it. I want to be able to explain it clearly in clear, easy to follow language. That's my goal. I want to make sure the agenda is clear. Okay, so I'm painting real close up here. Okay. And I really can't see. So let me turn it where I can see it. I don't know. I might keep, maybe this might be pink hair. The image originally, and I wonder if I could share my screen, and I might do that. The image originally has beautiful black hair around a beautiful skin tone with the word loved in red. I don't know. I'm just feeling a little bit different today. So let's go ahead. Let's get this around here. Yes, I know I have the smaller brush, but I'm going to try to use the corners, the edges of this flat. That's what that flat is good for. Try not to go over the paint that I've previously painted because we may need a second coat. All right, so let's go ahead. I am going into the paint, loading it up on one side. Okay, let's smooth this out. Okay, oh, I guess it might be helpful if I had the light on it. So I'm going to go right back in here on the side. I got a nice little heavy dip. And I'm going right back up over here. Why paint the side? That way you don't need a frame. Okay, we're not that deep over here. Paint the side so it'll give it a more professional finished look that I think that you will enjoy. And then you don't really have to worry about a frame. It just kind of makes it more like a precious piece, for your wall hanging, or it could sit on your, wherever you're going to place it. I'm just going to go right on around and paint this side. Remember, I'm going straight down in because I really want to kind of load the brush. Try to keep it on the bottom third, bottom half, because it's going to slide up towards the metal anyway. But you really want to keep that acrylic paint out of there. Why? Because when it dries like plastic, and it's very difficult to remove. And eventually that buildup of that plastic acrylic paint will start to, I'm going to say, age your brushes faster. All right, so we're in this hot pink mode. Next month is Women's History Month. And I was never a big fan of pink. I don't know why not. I don't know, maybe I wasn't a girly girl. You know, I didn't really care for pink that much. It was okay. But now I love it. It's just bold and vivid and so full of life. So I'm just kind of cleaning out my brush. And that's a good thing to do from time to time. Unload that paint. And because I'm using this pink here, I'm just going to go back and smooth this out. Let me put this down. Smooth this out. Now I'm working with a 1/4 inch flat. You might want to do this with a 1/2 inch, and you might try maybe a 1-inch brush back here. I'm just going to go ahead. I don't know why, but we're going to go in with this pink. Sometimes I like to have a very clear plan, and then sometimes I like to just paint in the moment. What about you? All right. So right now I'm making decisions on whether or not I want this to be her hair or whether or not I am going to go in here. Let me get right on this corner. And guys, look, you paint how it's comfortable for you. This is me turning my painting all the way upside down. Now, if we were doing a wall mural, we could not do that. We would have to, of course, adapt and adjust to the wall. But because I am not, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. I turn it so that this edge, this outer edge, is working for me as I move my hand in a comfortable position to apply the paint. I'm holding my paintbrush like a pencil, so I have the ultimate control. Okay, so you don't have to get super duper fancy with this. Our mission is to end up with a nice design. So I want to make sure I'm in control of the paint. All right, so I've gone along that edge. And of course, we can come right back along here with the marker to find those lines again, if need be. And now I'm just going to smooth it out. I start at the edge and I just drag the paint in one direction. Okay. I'm going back up here. This is still wet. All right. So now that first layer, and I'm just kind of filling in some of these other holes. Now, you know, like fingernail polish, you want to make sure that first layer dries. Okay. So let's see. We've got that pink there. We may need a second coat. May not. Let me see what's going on here. Because this side is kind of dry. I'm going in with getting a lot of paint because I want to just spread it. Yep, this side. Let me move my water. All right, I said to kind of get near that ear because I'm not sure what I'm doing up here. So let's make sure that we are totally finishing this off. Yep, this is somewhat dry. I probably should get the hair dryer. excuse me, and definitely add a painting even. That first layer, I would go over there, take 2 minutes to save yourself some time. Take 2 minutes, get up, hit with the hair dryer for maybe 30 seconds or so, and then go back and sit down and apply that second coat. Okay, it makes a huge difference, especially with some of the lighter colors. Now, this is inexpensive craft paint. If you're using even some of the fine art paints, some of the colors are just transparent or semi-transparent, and you need to add more than one coat. Hey, get in there, do what you need to do to make your final outcome nice. All right, I'm just going in here, just looking on the side. Sometimes it's difficult to see because of the lights in the studio. So let me touch this part up right here, right fast, along this edge of the hand. All right, so I'm bringing that right on down. And I'm not sure what I'm doing down at the bottom. Okay. Same over here. All right. So should I? I think I will. Let me wet my brush all the way, and then I'm going to lay it on the paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and hit it. All right. What I like about the craft acrylic, it's a matte, not a shiny surface. At the end, of course, you could coat it with a clear gloss. And I'm looking up here. I have gotten this. This is a matte medium by, I'm going to say Daler and Rowney. It's a pretty reputable company that's been around for a moment. This dries to a matte finish. I'm not sure if I'm right in the camera or not. So I've enjoyed using this before. It's a matte medium. They also have it in gloss. But you can find various versions to, once you're done, if you want like a more shiny surface, one that may be more protective of the actual paint, then you want to apply a clear sealer, shiny or matte. All right, so this is dry, and I may want to do a second coat, but for our purposes here, we're just going to keep going. What I was going to show you is a previous painting. This is just a purple background. Okay, nice, beautiful, serene image. And what I probably need to do is just go ahead and upload that. And this is another one with the pink. This one is a slightly different pink. I guess it's more fluorescent. You can have a more calming pink, more pale pink. But I love the pink with the brown skin. So let me set these two over here, hoping that I don't splash any more paint anywhere. Maybe I'll turn them both this way. Okay, so they're here. Just off to the side. Hopefully I won't knock anything over. Okay, so let me move this on over this way. There's lots of room over here. Good. All right, so what I think I'm going to do, maybe I'll leave it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and clean the pink out because I've been working with it for a few moments. And like I said, you don't want that acrylic to dry near the metal because instead of your brush staying this way, it'll slowly build up that paint and it'll lose its what do you call it? Brand new out the package, straight edge that we still have. Okay, we still have that nice, crisp, flat. I know I've got a couple around here where I use these as workhorses. Ah, here's one. This is a good comparison. Let me see if I can get this light up here. See this? Let me show it to you this way. One is still relatively flat, and the other one is starting to really fray out. But this is a really good workhorse. These are like inexpensive, cheapo, throwaway brushes. But I like the way they work until, they stop working. So don't think that you have to spend a whole lot to begin with, but it's in the kit. If you're serious about painting, then of course you invest a little bit more to get a few better brushes. Okay, so let's see. Toss this over here. That's full of paint. Okay, we want to make sure we get that out of the way. All right, let's continue on. Now that my brush is relatively free of paint, I dip it in the water, and then I come right back and I tap it and wipe it on my paper towel. This helps me keep my water clean. And my paper towel gets rid of most of that excess paint. So now I can go back and dab a little bit. So let's see. We're going to make, let me do 1, 2, 3 dabs of the red. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of clean that off. And then I'm going to do like a corner of the black. Okay, so we're going to mix this in. Let's see if we can get close. Mix this in. To give us our brown. Now, of course, you can lighten this up. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. I could add a little bit more black. You can lighten this up or darken this however you'd like. So there's another technique. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to come over here so you can see. So I'm mixing that in, and I'm spreading this out a little bit so you can see what that yellow does. You see? So that lightens it up a little bit. Let me put my brush down and get the light for you. Okay. Hopefully that's clear. Hopefully the image is nice, but it's hard sometimes when it's wet and reflective. So of course I can add a little bit of white to lighten it up, but as I'm adding the white, let me make sure my brush is cleaned out. As I'm adding the white, I also want to make sure I have some of that yellow in there. Okay, so here it is with a little bit of white, and I'm just moving it about. Okay, moving it about. And I'm going to go in here, just wipe my brush off right here, and grab a little bit of yellow to warm it up. So you can do this on a separate plate, but I'm just doing it right here. What do they say? Do what I say do, not what I do. So this is plenty of paint. I'm just going to go ahead along the edges right here, right now. And remember, I kind of push down on those bristles to release that paint. I just want to capture some along the edge, and I'm basically drawing with the paint now. So I'm going right along the edge, filling in. Okay. And I want to move quickly so that the paint doesn't start to dry, and I've got to try to remix. And it's good to maybe mix a batch of your skin tone or the skin tone that you use the most and put it into a container. Let me spread this about real fast over here. And basically, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get just a little bit of water to help me thin this out just a little bit. Once you kind of get the basic formula for skin tones, you won't be afraid to do it. I know some people are afraid to get in there and mix up some skin tones. Follow that basic recipe and then, of course, perfect it as you practice. And I have it in my head. I know what I'm doing in my head, but when I'm teaching, I got to make sure, remember that mold that we want to keep. I want to make sure I see that line. And I probably need to switch off to that smaller brush along these edges. I'm going to go grab another little dot of water. And I've got a lot of paint here. So you don't really have to worry about, the flaking. You just don't want to do straight watercolor because this is like I'm going to say like a plastic, more of a plastic coating that we're painting onto. All right, so I'm not sure how far this arm is going to go down here. So we're going to just go right on over here. I'm going back up to gather up some more paint over here because it's wanting to start drying. Okay, so I'm rubbing it in like I told you before, just to apply it. And then we're going to smooth it out. I just had to turn it around the right way so I could see what's going on over here. Okay. So we want to make sure before this starts drying that we smooth this out. And I think one coat should do us. Now I'm pressing down. Once again, I've got a lot of paint in this brush. I don't need any more. So I'm just kind of getting along that edge so that I can start painting with it. Okay, I'm going back over here to gather some more along that 1/4 inch edge. Now, when I mess up, that's when I'm going to reach for that smaller brush. But I really should have it already. All right, so we're just going back, picking up a lot of that paint that's still right there. And then we're just moving it to where it needs to go. Let me smooth this out because it's starting to dry. Okay, let's get this. I'm going to go in here one more little dip. We've got a lot of paint in the brush. So I'm not quite sure what we're doing as far as the top. Let me pull it in from this direction. And then I'm going to leave it alone up here and let it dry. Okay, so we've got a lot of paint. And this is the fun about the pre-printed canvases. It's just fun. It's just, I don't know, it's just something different to do. And there's so many different designs. All right, I'm going to have to be careful. All right, so let's make sure we're getting these fingers. Let me press out a little bit more of this paint because it's starting to dry really quickly now. Now, don't ask me what this painting technique is. It's the scrub and let's get it done technique. How about that? And like I said, I'm really treating these bristles kind of like pencil, kind of sketching it in. So I'm going to flip it back around here in just a moment. I just know this paint is starting to dry and I have to hurry up. All right. All right, y'all. I think we got most of it down here. Let me turn it around so I can see it the right way. And we're going to leave this alone. Okay. Now, can you get brown right out of the container? Yes, you most definitely can. You most definitely can. But what's the fun in that sometimes when you can mix it? The consistency, it does help with that. All right. So we've got our brown skin tone painted. Let me go ahead and clean up my brush. And the way that I'm using this brush, oh yeah, it sucks the life right out of it. But I don't know. It's just fun for me to paint that way and to kind of teach it kind of like it's a coloring pencil, like you're painting with a pencil. So there we go. I am going to go ahead, get some more of this pink, go right on in here. That's the background there. And it depends on what color your hair is. If you're, okay, so we're going to kind of let that dry. I put that on a little bit thick. Let that dry a little bit. Now, let's see. I think what I'm going to do while I have this on my brush, just go along the edge, just a smidge. Okay, like I said, that's wet right there, so I really can't do too much right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here and get a little bit of black. And go along this edge right here. Now this is where you can create any hairstyle that you would like. Okay. If it's a shortcut, you might want to get a reference picture. Or if you're doing you just might want to make sure you have a mirror available that you can take a look in as you're painting, or you can snap a quick picture. I am going up here to create the oval for the head. Okay. Now I've got to keep dipping because this is a really tiny brush. And so you dip, scoop a little bit of that paint up, you apply it, and you keep dipping and going. So we're going over here. Okay, so I'm just kind of drawing that outline right there. And I'm just going to flip it so then I am in total control of this brush. And I've got some paint on there, and I'm just dragging that paint along the edge, and I'm moving it the way my hand moves, which is a little bit right to left. This is easy for me to control this way. So if your hand moves this way easily, then you do that. If you got more control, vertically, then you do it that way. For me, the right and left, and I got my little pinky finger planted so that I have more traction. Small brush, you have to dip in the paint more often. All right, so I'm going to get a lot of paint and I'm going to unload it here. All right. So I am just going to bring it right on over to this edge here. All right. And you feel free to do the same. Okay. All right. So about a good 30, 40 minutes into the painting. And most of it is done. You just have to make those decisions. I'm glad it's upside down because now I can see whether or not it's even. I'm going to go even this part out over here. Okay. So let me flip it back. Oh, what color should we paint the lips? All right. Oh my, how exciting is this? So while I'm going to get and I should have my plate over here. And you know it's just right off camera. This is the plate that I use all the time. I'm going to get a little bit of black right here. I'm going to add a little bit of water right here. Black is a very strong pigment. I'm going to get a little bit more water just to thin it down right here. And I am going to go right on the edge. Whoop. I should have a softer, gentle touch. But right now it's not so soft and not so gentle. That's okay. We'll keep moving. And I'm kind of sketching along the edge. And I'm doing a cardinal sin because I'm doing the vertical and I know my strength is horizontal. Okay. And I'm going to go right here and find that. I'm loading up my brush again, going right in and finding that. I'm going to go right on in here too. I'm going to let this dry. Let me back up a little bit. Ooh, I don't have a soft, gentle touch. If you don't, you might want to do this with marker. Once everything dries. Now I'm seeing some white shining through, so I'm going back with my black. Carefully get rid of that. Okay, so here we go. It's coming together. All right, looks like I missed a spot on the fingers. What color do I want to make the shirt? Where's my color wheel? Do I have one out here? Of course I do not. But you know what? I'm going to go grab one real fast. Let me wet this and make sure I get that acrylic paint away from the metal so my brush can stay at a point. Now I can swish it at the bottom. Remove any other excess. Let me do that one more time. Because we don't want any of that black paint to mix in with any of the other colors. Unless we're doing it on purpose. All right. Oh, there's still a lot in there. So let me just press that out. Do not press and pull. I'm just pressing. All right. So I am sliding that brush along that paper towel to help maintain that point. Okay. Then we have a crazy stray hair. Remember scissors? That happens even with the expensive brushes. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove that. There we go. So we are in control. Is this just one crazy hair? It is. So I'm going to pull that down way away and get rid of it. I don't have my glasses on. So that one here is about to get on my nerves. All right. So this is kind of drying a little bit. And it's not too bad. I still need a little bit of brown in that area. So you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get me a little bit of this brown and black right here. What am I saying? Brown and black? I am getting red and black to mix in right here. There, I grab just a smidge of white, just a smidge, to move it along quickly. Slightly different color, but that's okay for what we're doing right now. Okay, let's get just a little smidge more of this red, because this black right here is just taking over. And I'm doing something that I would tell you not to do. I'm going to tell you to probably mix it off to the side. But here we are. All right. So we're trying to fix that a little bit. And because I don't know if you notice that we don't have that yellow up in there, it's not warm. So let's try to warm that up a little bit. Okay. It's not too bad, but I could tell that it's not the original. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Let's get a little water. Let's get a little water. Let's get a little black. Might help if you actually dip in there. And my brush is full, but I'm trying to flatten it out. And this is terrible when you don't have your glasses on, you guys. Okay, we're just going along that edge right there. Make it a little bit more black. Come on back around up in here. And I think we're good. There we go. There we are, y'all. And I keep forgetting I don't have any black paint on my plate. That's what I'm used to having. I've been painting out of these paint pots. Hopefully your lines will be a little bit more in control. I have had me some coffee this morning. I'm just going to tell on myself. And usually my hands are not as steady when I have coffee. So I'm just going to pull this on over here. Not quite sure, like I said, what color shirt I want to do. Okay. So we're just going back over a little couple spots. And you want to try to see what's going on with all of this before you leave your painting event. All right. So we're going right on over here. Okay. It's shaping up. All right. And like I said, as far as the shirt, we're going to figure out something. Now the paint straight out of the container is not as fluid. So once again, I would probably take a little water. I can't tell how deep the paint is. Take a little water and mix some of that up a little bit separately so that, yeah, it's a little thinner and easier to control. All right, y'all. So the sides have been painted. Top, not quite sure what I'm doing down here yet. Do we want to do just a regular schmegular lip or do we want to just go with the pink? I don't know. I don't know. The decisions. I said I was going to go get my color wheel. Let me go do that. It is so helpful. I'm just going on over here on the sides. All right. Maybe all of this could be black. I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and hit this with one layer of red. I'm cleaning out my brush. Ooh, maybe a little bit too much paint. Even though it looks like I have my brush horizontal, I'm still only letting the tip of the brush touch the canvas surface. All right, so this will be great for our first layer. And we're just gonna go with this powerful red, that's all. Let me get another dip. And that's quite a bit of paint. So I'm coming down here. I'm gonna try to leave a highlight there. Okay, so we are in here getting stuff done. And you see I still need a smidge more brown, just a smidge. And I'm looking back here, my brown is out. In my paint party, boxes out here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this in right here all together. All right. This still could be red down here. Let me use my mixing plate. I'm going to get a little bit of blue, a little bit of white. Why not? Ooh, I forgot this black is still wet over here, guys. Be careful. just wetting the canvas a little bit because I'm going to go in here and get this black. And this will just kind of help it move along a little bit better. Let me paint the sides a little bit with a little bit of water too. It'll just help it go a little bit faster and flow a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and touch the top because we know that that is perfectly dry. And sometimes painting is very, very physical, as well as that mental game. You know, it's this, for me right now, this is self-care, people. When I tell you I enjoy the process, just the moving of the brush and then uh, making artistic decisions. You know, in school, kids make the academic decisions while they're working on their math. But you have to be creative, okay, in order to get on out here and, oh boy, that's almost a little bit of wet on wet technique that I explained this week. Let me go ahead on the side, and I may have to get a little bit more black, but we're moving quickly. We're making these artistic, creative decisions, and we're getting on down with it. So I want to make sure this is covered so I don't have to worry about a frame, and it just kind of finishes it off with a little bit more of a professional look. So that's a tip, especially for my paint party lovers. Go ahead and finish that edge. Now I'm coming along here with this flat edge. You know how painters edge and trim the walls before they go in and paint? So that's kind of what we're doing right here. I'm just going to go ahead and finish this part right here. I may have to get some more black. Let me try to scoop in and get black on both sides of this flat so I have plenty of paint to move around. Okay, I think I do, and I'm glad I did wet the edge a little bit. It just makes it a little bit. I wet it first. I still would. I can't see what's shiny as as far as the paint being wet and what is actually white. I want to get rid of the white, and there is plenty of paint here. So I'm just kind of scrubbing that in, and then of course smoothing it back out. That way we are done with that bottom edge. Let me go in and get a little bit more paint for this side here, and I'm dragging it along that edge. And once again, I cannot tell at this angle what's shiny and what is still actually white. And sometimes the paint has to dry and you may have to touch it up, and that's okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to turn it back this way and work on it from this side. That wet on wet is kind of funky and cool. Not the technique I was going for, but that may be cool inside of the letters. Ooh. Like I said, let me scrape up a little bit more up in here. My first coat of red on the lips are drying. The first coat of blue is drying. The background, I really don't need a second coat. I could. I've got a little black paint on my fingers, so I'm trying not to touch this background. All right. So now I am definitely coming along the bottom of the letters. So we're dragging and pushing and scrubbing this paint in. Like I say, it can be very physical. And I just, this black color will pop out any other color you decide to put on. I'm smoothing this out. It's still a little bit wet down here and still a lot of paint. So I'm smoothing this out down here so it can dry a little more evenly. I'm going to flip it upside down first. Let me make sure I am wiping off this black. So we've been at this maybe a little under an hour, which is cool. And I'm just taking my time. I am not rushing. And if you can't finish a painting in one setting, that is perfectly okay as well. So I've got some black in here, so I'm just going to touch up. Some of the pink is shining through. So I am just going over this up here just a smidge while I have the black in my brush. And you might like that little touch of pink shining through, and that is perfectly okay too. All right. Now, it's time to go in here and finish off these little edges and things. I don't have a lot of paint in this container, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to dip in and take what I have and go on in here and go around. Like I said, I can see and control this edge. See and control this edge here. So that's what I'm going to do. And I probably need to do a marker. Okay, I can come in here a little bit to where I know that I am going to lose control, and then I'll flip it. Okay, right here. Like I said, my brush is full of paint. All right, so we are cool right here. Now I think I'm going to switch up the brush to get the finer one. Okay, so I don't mess up what I've already started. Full of paint. So we're coming right on. We're dragging, pushing, pulling. All right, we're going back in to load up again. I drag, slide that edge that I'm in control of right here so I can really get along the edges of these letters. All right, so I'm going to flip this back around to where I am in control along the other side. While I still have this paint, I'm going to go ahead. Ooh, that's a lot of paint coming off right there. So I'm going to slide it because you want to be in control as you're sliding along these edges. I'm sliding along here. Now, it's that delicate dance of having enough paint and not having enough paint. All right, so we've gotten that black covered up really quickly. Let me get over here, and then I think I'm going to swap out the brush. As I've already stated, but I'm still working with this big one because I can cover a lot more surface quickly with the larger brush. Okay, let me get in this little area right here. And I can already tell that this brush, in the course of this hour, is tired. Oh, so that's what I mean by this one is kind of like a one and done. Because by the time we have worked it out, scrubbed it, maneuvered it around on this canvas or wood, whatever kit you happen to get, it's going to be tired. But it still has enough life in there for another two, three paintings. Maybe a little more, depending on what you're doing. All right, so I am going to go ahead, put this in the water, wipe this out over here. All right, so this is going to take a little longer to clean out. So I fill it up by dipping it in the water without scrubbing it. And I know I've got a lot of black paint near the metal because, like I said, that paint, no matter how you try to keep it along that bottom edge, is going to, oh, got a little paint right here, is going to make its way up towards the metal. So I'm going to let this soak in this water for a little bit to try to make sure that it's coming down. So I'm pressing on it. I'm squeezing and trying to press to get some of that black paint up out of there. So it's still there. Well, this is a good time for me to grab the color wheel as well as pick my light up off the floor. Okay. There we go. All right. So I just had these printed. This one isn't laminated, but I like to laminate them for when we're in person. Easy Start Painting Mixing Guide. We talked about before how we mix yellow, 3 parts. I'm going to say to maybe half the red, but 1 part red, that'll give you a really rich red. 3 parts yellow to 1 part red, 3 parts yellow to 1 part blue. Now this green is really not the best indicator, but it'll give you a little bit. 3 parts of the magenta or the pink, the fuchsia, you want a rich, deep pink to 1 part blue, and that'll give you a nice violet, nice purple in there. So this is my Easy Start mixing guide that I'm including in the kits. And I also try to have that in person now. So I'm going to try to make sure I get it blown up on like a science board, so it's there for the people to see and they might not need to handle it. They just kind of glance up. In the art room, I have several color wheels around. Usually yellow is at the top like the sun, violet is at the bottom. And you've got your warm colors and cool colors. So sometimes when you get stuck, look and see what you like. See what color combinations you enjoy and you put that together. So here's the mixing chart. Another one again that kind of shows you, and for your flesh, the lighter tones and the darker tones. I just went straight with the red and the black and then added a little bit of yellow to warm it up. So you get in there and you take these as guides. It's a guide. Okay, let me say it again. Easy Start mixing guide, paint mixing guide. All right, so that's in the kit. Now going back to the color wheel, warms and cools. This is another version here. On our painting, man, we could see that green would pop against that pink. That blue also will pop against that pink, so will yellow. So inside of Loved, I'm not sure what color combination will work best. Maybe I'll come back and finish that up because I'm looking at my computer. My computer's saying it's tired. So I am enjoying this. Even the white is, I think I just might leave it white. popping out. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I get this laminated. But here in the studio, because there's so many lights, it's probably best that I don't have this one laminated here. But I'm going to slide that off to the side, and I'm just going to check on the cleanliness of my brush. Since I did use a lot of black, I would probably clean this out with a little bit of warm water and a little bit of soap, a little mild soap, a little Dawn or, something to that equivalent, anything. So now I'm just going to dry that off, put that off over here to the side because I'm done with the larger brush. I want to hit this black with the hair dryer so I know what's wet. All right. I am enjoying this. So maybe next time, if I want to do a little wet on wet, I might go in and do the wet on wet so it kind of looks tie-dye-ish. You fill up the surface with water, and then when you go to dab the paint on, the paint kind of moves fluidly and just kind of gives it a nice technique. Maybe I will come back a little bit later because that's what we worked on with the kids. Now, I may have to fix that brown, but it's not too bad. Let me go in with a little bit of a white highlight. Let me go in here. This is too much paint on my brush. I don't know if you can see that. Too much paint. So what I like to do, I like to wipe it off on my surface where the paint is still there, but it's not as much. So like we said before, we do a little drag and drop. Okay, so a little bit of that paint up there for the highlight. Definitely. There we go. And we're going to go ahead right here on these nails. Boop. Oop, that's too much paint. So like I said before, you want to wipe off some of it and you just go back right on the very tip and you pick up a little bit. All right. That's what I'm doing right here for these nails. Boop, boop, boop. And my brush is a little funky too. All right. All right. So we're putting that white there and we're dragging it back. Putting that white there and dragging it back. I'm hoping we don't have to have a second coat, but we may have to. But I think that's okay. I think it's popping out enough. All right, so the white is popping. Boop. Let's get a little bit right here by the ear. Okay. I think that's okay. We don't need a whole lot of this, that, and the third. Let me add whatever little white I have right back here inside of the letter. Okay, so let me go ahead, dip on in this black. Right, so I'm taking whatever little water I had and I'm rubbing along the sides. And I'm just going to wipe off the extra black, go along these little lines right here. And make sure all the ones at the bottom are filled in. All right. So make sure we got enough black paint now. Let me back up because I can't see. I don't have these glasses, you guys. Okay, so we're going right here. And we're going right here. And I'm taking my time. I probably could go a little bit faster, but like I said, for me, this is part of that self care. And I'm just so glad to invite you into the studio while I'm working. And this is another Delencia design that I just absolutely love. And I just modified it a little bit. That resilient was one I wanted to paint just like it was. And I can't put my hand on it right now because it's once again over in my little paint party bag ready to go. And I think what's going to happen is if you can catch me live and paint, and uh, I think I'm going to start saving these demonstrations for the members. But right now, they are out here. Hopefully, they are helping you. This year, there are a lot of changes coming over here. All right, guys. Just cleaning up these edges. I'm just going super slow. You might need to go a little bit faster depending on your schedule. And of course, you work at your own skill level. Oh boy, I forgot. Oh, hopefully the computer won't shut off. Let me see if I can plug in the power source. Oh, I'm so glad it's out here. And I forget. Oh my goodness. So much better. I forget that it's out here. Okay. So we are definitely going along carefully, just refining, smoothing things out and enjoying the process. I like that white on black. I don't know. What color will you paint yours? You know what? It just dawned on me. I forgot and I didn't say it in my intro. This is now available in that packet of, let me reach for that trio of Blessed. Okay, let me try to get up here. Blessed. Let me get this out of here. Loved. And we're just going to flip this right here. And Resilient. That's that other one that I painted the other week. So I still need to paint the Blessed one. But Valentine's season, I am painting the Loved. Okay. How much fun is that? This will be great for a Galentine's Day event, Mother's Day bridal shower event, daddy and daughter. We could just, make the lips a little more masculine and the fingers maybe a little, more masculine, maybe outline them a little bit darker. But how much fun is this? So my clock is saying we've been at this maybe about an hour and 20 minutes. That's kind of the time that I enjoy for a paint party where it's not too long, but we want to make sure we allow the 2 hours so that you can make your decisions And, you might grab a little snack or something. But I really want you intensely painting for that hour. That really turned out nice. And you want to do a second coat in the background. Make sure while you're there, you are painting the side. That's it. That is it. You can change the hairstyle how you'd like it. Uh, yeah, I might want to go along those nails just a little bit more, but I don't have to. I think I've said all that I need to say. I'm going to live with it for a little bit, and then I might come back and do a little bit of a touch up. I'm done. That's it. Let's see if I can pop me back in. Let's remove me over here if I'm hitting the right buttons now. There we go. We're back. We're going to fight with these studio lights. Let me go a little bit closer. Let me put this one here. Push this one out a little bit more. Straighten it. Let's get this, the painted pose. Get this ready to go. Hey, I've had a great time painting in here. You could add little hoop earrings. You could change the hairstyle up, change the skin color. I'm chocolate, so that's why I'm painting a little chocolate person. Warm it up, lighten it up, darken it up. I don't know. We're gonna have to fix that part. But for right now, I'm okay with it. Thank you so much for joining. This is Bernae Furnoy with the Painted Pose. Of course, I do the fine art, but I also enjoy doing the fun art. Right now, I am on this paint party art kit thing. I'm on Amazon right now. What? I've got 2 kits. This one is one of them where you get the 3. Let me show that again now that I'm back on the big screen. So this is Loved. Let me hold this up again. I can't see. Let me get off to the side. So this is Loved. Any way that you'd love to paint it. Let me slide. I'm trying to slide it, okay? Trying to get rid of that hot spot over there. So enjoy painting this. And the black hair can go all the way around. But I decided to switch it up a little bit. And you do the same thing. So let's see. What is that? Loved, Resilient that I painted the other time, and then Blessed. That's going to be coming up too. Maybe around Easter. Okay. So I am signing off. I probably need to fill up my black so that the next time I come, it is right here and it's ready for me. So yeah, take care of yourself. Do something that makes your heart sing and come alive. I'm glad I'm putting that in there. Is this black? Okay, it's black. Have to make sure. Do something that makes your heart smile. Makes your heart sing and come alive. Okay. I just feel like this is Mr. Rogers where he's putting back on his gym shoes. No, I don't know. He put his gym shoes on when he comes into the home, and then I think he puts on like his dress shoes to go back out. Such a good feeling. No. Let me stop before Facebook cuts me off, y'all. Ooh. That's enough of that. Thanks so much again. This is Bernae Furnoy, art teacher by day, portrait painter by night, paint party instructor, and paint party host. Go to my website, see what's coming up for the upcoming events. I need to make sure that I'm adding upcoming products too. Watch for those. Get on my email list so that I can send you information about updates and special offers. I think I'm going to offer some more early bird bonuses to my list. So whether you're here locally or whether you're out and about somewhere, watch out for those bonus codes. Okay. I think that's what I'm going to do. I love me a good sale. Okay. I love me a good discount. But I don't necessarily want to be known for the discount girl over here. But if you're on my list in my community, there's nothing wrong with me blessing people. I am out of here. Just one more close, y'all. Just one more. Make sure you paint the sides, all of the sides. Now, I might need to fix that. Paint all of the sides. And you might want to do a second coat. But my goodness, how much fun. And that didn't take long. So right now we're at the hour and 30 mark. But I also had, I think, a 5-minute timer up there that I'm going to go back and cut that out. But we're done. We're blessed. We're resilient. We're loved. Know that you're loved over here. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Till next time. Saturdays, that's our slot. That's our